Hello, my friends. Thanks for opening. You know, the choice to be born on earth is the choice of forgetting. In part, the choice to be born is to choose a great loss of perspective once our personality enters the physical body or the density of the earth. We came here in order to believe this is our only reality. We look through our eyes and we see the physical world, and yet we are blinded at birth to who we were before we got here. We all chose to confine our mind and personality in this way so we could experience life subjectively. So then, of course, I had to ask, why is our worldview so subjective here? The answer came when you use the word subjective. What you're really talking about is the physical senses, the physical experience of life. And don't forget, emotion is only experienced in physical. Emotion isn't even available to be experienced without density. So this extremely subjective enmeshment of our mind into materialization is worth any risk inherent in this experience. And then they distinguished between the mind-soul dynamic that existed before we made a species choice on our long entry. And once our species choice is made, a dimension of expressing ourselves is chosen as a human being. So it's a choice all the way down through. But here on earth, our pain is possible because of the materials that make up our physical body. Our joy is possible because we are immersed in these materials which come from the earth. We would urge you all to relish the sensations that you can feel here, because if you feel, you are alive. And then I asked, when a personality comes into such a strong density with all these natural laws and limitations, you know, do we know before we're born that there'll be pain, suffering, and death? And it's not a sacrifice. We do know that. It's a trade-off. The conditions to experience physical life result in huge advancements for us. They said, you participate in this density for the knowledge you can acquire, for the advancements that you can contribute to humanity throughout universe. Each of you are participating in creation itself. And so I asked, how does it happen, this forgetting? And the answer came, you're all familiar with the gray ligamentary area that we call the tunnel. That level of ligamentary material is something that everyone passes through, and sometimes we perceive this as the birth canal, and every life form passes through this ligamentary material, and we leave through the tunnel at death. It's very close to the surface of the planet, and this transition is perceived as a tunnel because of the way we focus ourselves through this material. But it's the tunnel that's the place where knowledge is erased, and it doesn't matter how much accumulated advancement any of us has. The tunnel is the great equalizer, the great neutralizers, and all species understand this in pre-birth focus. And once the commitment is made to enter manifestation, there's no turning back. The tunnel can only be recrossed at death. And because of that, some of us may feel a sense of fatalism about being in life. And so then I asked for clarification on when life begins. And the answer came, many creatures are not fully united with their vehicle or body until that body could function outside of the mother. Very few individuals consciously experience their body being formed in the womb. Incarnation into a baby's body can take place at different points depending on the will of the individual who is entering. And that's why it's difficult to pinpoint the exact instant a personality merges with their vessel. But in general, a human baby is fully alive at the instant of birth. And then they reminded me that I had one incarnation when I went in and out of my baby body, and I wasn't firmly fixed in it until my eyes had cleared, which they say was about 4 days old, when my mind was completely enmeshed into physical material. And until then, life force was animating that body, which I thought was kind of cool. And they also said that coming into physical is a unique privilege. Reincarnation is a privilege, not a punishment. The greater majority of humans exist as pure mind. They don't even get the opportunity to come into a 3D dimensional experience. So we feed our experiences to those who will never even have the opportunity to come in to this kind of density. Each and every one of us has the responsibility to experience this density to our greatest capacity. And they said they're not talking about morals or morality. It simply means to be alive, to feel the enclosure of the skin, the wind, the rain, to hear bird song, to feel movement. Even with the suffering, it is still worth it for us to experience this density because we progress, acquire so much wisdom, and then we can make better choices. All of the physical sensations are to be savored and participated in, they said. Our life is but the blink of an eye. That is true. And yet each life profoundly contributes to the knowledge pool of humanity. So remember, it's a privilege to be here, no matter how difficult it seems to be at times. So I hope that you'll think about these things, and I'd love to hear from you, your thoughts. And until I see you again, please be well and please be blessed.